Hey crew, it's Pid, and I'm back with the weekly tarot for our ISFJs for the week of August the 3rd through the 9th. We will be drawing 8 cards from the Divine Feminine, 8 cards from the Divine Masculine in accordance with the 8 human chakras so that we can best understand how to manifest our highest timelines. Before we begin, however, if you are unfamiliar with me, if you have never seen my smiling face, or if you are unfamiliar with what the words things, old, self, flexible, and direct mean, I will direct you back to the video that will be linked in the corner above, which says, have you been doing MBTI wrong? Because there is a damn fine chance that you have. I have completely revamped the system. The terms are not the same. I know that's a little bit much for some people, especially considering my comments from yesterday. Today we're going to begin pulling in the base for the Divine Feminine with the Knight of Wands. In the sacral, we have the Star. In the solar plexus, we have the Ace of Cups. In the heart, we have the Emperor. In the throat, we have the Fool. In the third eye, we have the Seven of Wands. And in the crown, we have the Queen of Wands. And then rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups in reverse. The Seven of Wands was in reverse too. Next up, we'll be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine. The 8 cards from the Divine Feminine that are already on the table tell us what the current situation is. The Divine Masculine lets us know what actions that we can take in order to bring about our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. I've already done a pre-meditation and a pre-shuffle, but I like to get 2 more quick shuffles just to make sure Spirit puts everything exactly where it is supposed to be. Now we will begin pulling with the crown, and we have the Five of Wands. In the third eye, we have the Nine of Swords. In the throat, we have the Three of Pentacles. In the heart, we have the Nine of Wands. In the solar plexus, in reverse, right? The Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands is in reverse. In the solar plexus, we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. In the sacral, we have the Knight of Swords. In the base, we have the Empress. And rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon. Alright, so let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us today. We begin in the base because it is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have provision? Do you have a job? Do you have money? This is all dealing with those particular areas. This is the part that governs love and wrath, so you may be giving away too much affection. You may not be receiving the affection you feel like you deserve. Neither one of those are particularly good. For an ISFJ, the base is going to be guided by NI, which is the best possibility and guidance going forward, seeing the best path. And you are really not good at that. I mean, it's nothing personal. It's just the way that your stack falls out. But this is all the way at the bottom. You receive nothing but negative energy here, right? You do not get good information unless you are very intentional about it. And while you're fairly good at seeing possibilities, you are absolutely terrible at narrowing them down. Today for you, we have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is when it is standing upright. You have it in the reverse. But when it is standing upright, the Knight of Wands is about embracing change. Wands are spirit, fire, life, light, logos, and change. The personification of everything changing. This Knight, who is rising to the challenge, Knights are about change and challenge in your life. And Knights, when they're in the upright, are rising to the challenge. They are meeting the challenge. He is on a horse that is charging. This horse is charging into the past, but that's a little bit irrelevant. He is holding aloft the wand of change. He is fully armored, he is prepared for battle, and he is moving quickly when it is in the upright. You have it in the reverse, which is more of a reticent, right? I don't like really saying negative, but it is the negative of the positive, right? The positive is rising to meet the change. The negative is staying back and letting the change come to you. Now, the Divine Feminine is the current situation. The Divine Masculine tells us what steps that we can take. And so your current situation is that you are not rising to the challenge of meeting the change. There is change happening in your life. You are not good with change, right? Your SI is your lead. The divine for you is SI, which is all of the things that have happened. That's where your comfort zone is. And so there is change happening around you, and you're not exactly happy about that at all. And so this is your current situation, is that you are not rising to meet the challenge. Now, clarifying with steps that can be taken from the divine masculine, you have the Empress. And the Empress is a 3 card, which implies that there is some learning to do. 3s are about learning the situations. 1, you realize there is something. 2, you make a choice. 3, you learn about that choice. This is learning about that choice. This is a very positive energy. This is the first real divine feminine energy in the major arcana. You have the Magician, and then you have the Hierophant. Or no, the Hierophant's a 5. You have the Magician, and then you have the High Priestess, and then you have this. And the High Priestess is kind of some divine energy, right? Some divine feminine, but not really. It's more about choosing the pathway. The 3 is kind of nurturing. It's more of a divine energy. And so it is learning about something. This doesn't necessarily tell you what it is, but she does have a wand in her hand, not a pentacle or a sword. So this can be learning about some change. We'll see if we get some further clarification as we go along. The base is normally just, this is your current situation. Do you have a job? Maybe not, right? The sacral here is going to be what you try to generate in your life, what you want to do with your life. You envision your future with your third eye, you put it into manifestation with your heart, and you take positive steps in that direction here in the sacral. It's about physical generation, so it can be about having a child. It's the area that governs lust and chastity. You may be giving away too much physical affection. You may not be receiving enough physical affection. Neither one are particularly good. The sacral for the ISFJ is TE. What does everybody else think about the situation? What is the tribe's rationale in what they are doing? And you just don't understand it, right? Not only do you not understand it, but the sacral and the trickster are really the same energy. And so you're kind of tricked into thinking that you do, right? You know what everybody else is thinking. You've gone through the logic, so you know what they should be thinking. But you don't, right? You don't actually know what they're thinking. You just think you know what they're thinking. Today you have the Star. The Star is a really good card. This is a very positive, right? It is in the upright. Your current situation of what you are trying to create in your life is provision, right? Balanced provision. This divine lady, she is naked, look beyond the normal meaning, has the sun and 7 stars around her head, making a total of 8 stars. She is got 1 foot on the water and 1 foot on the earth. She is pouring the waters of life equally on the water, on the land and on the waters. This is a balance card and provision, right? She is providing the waters of life. She is balanced. She is doing it equally in both places. This is a very balanced provision card. And this is saying that what you are trying to manifest in your life, what you want to do with your future on a physical plane, is to be provided for. Clarifying that with actions that can be taken is rising to a challenge. Now, swords are soul, air, thought, intellect, and communication. And so this is saying that there may be a communication that is coming in. It may be a little bit challenging. Knights are about rising to meet the challenge. We saw that down here. Now, this one is upright. This is you actually rising to meet the challenge, whereas the Knight of Wands was more of a let the challenge come to you. The current situation is you want to provide for yourself. You want to be in a balanced situation with provision, and you do so by rising to meet this challenge. Now, this challenge is related to a thought, an idea, or a communication. So you may be waiting on a communication before you can rise to the challenge. This is a future card, but it's immediate future. We don't read very far into the future. And so what this is saying is that you may be presented with a communication or a new idea, and you're going to have to rise to a challenge in order to achieve the provision that you are looking for. Next, we're going to go over here to the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is quite literally what changes your food into fuel. It's tied to your stomach. It's the area that governs gluttony and temperance. So you may be over-consuming the things of the mortal coil. You may be under-consuming the things of the mortal coil. Neither one are particularly good. Asceticism is way overrated. For the ISFJ, this is going to be governed by past feelings and morals. How do I feel about the situation? How have I felt about the situation? And what are the morals attached? Now, morals are what you have decided is the right way to do things. Ethics. Ethics is how the tribe has decided to do things, right? The tribe decides that this is okay, and you may or may not agree with it. Your morals can be different from the tribe. You have a hard time identifying those morals, so you rely more upon the ethics of the tribe. Like, everybody else says that this is okay, so it's okay. You have less dependence upon yourself in this particular area. And today we're looking at a brand new presentation of an emotion. Now, this is an emotional connection. Cups are about the emotional connections. It is familial connections, it is spousal connections, it is business connections, the people that you work with, or just the people that you hang out with. But it's not about the people. It's about the emotional connections behind it. It's about interpersonal relationships. Ones, the ace, is about a new one, right? A new presentation. If this is an ace of pentacles, there's a new job, a new home. If there's an ace of swords, it's a new thought, a new idea, a new communication. This is a new opportunity for a partnership. Now, this can be a sexual partnership, not necessarily, because it's not in your sexual, in the area of sexual responsibility. This is how you fuel things, right? So your solar plexus is what makes you be able to get up and go to work every day. Your solar plexus is how you have dreams and aspirations. Your solar plexus is how you have manifestation happen. And so what you're looking at here is what is going to feed the situation that you want in your life is this new emotional connection that is coming in. Now, this can be an emotional understanding with somebody that you already have, right? But understanding them in a different way. Not necessarily a brand new one, but probably a brand new one, right? Is most likely someone new coming into your life. Now, that does not have to be sexual. It can be just business. And clarifying that with some actions that can be taken is a resist temptation. This is a cups, so it is about the emotions, right? This is directly related to this ace. This is the beginning of the path with the ace. This is the end of a path, right? The 7 is a harvest. You have fought through the challenge. You have taken the time to understand and to nurture, and now you are at the harvest. This is all the temptations in the world. These 7 cups are filled with the 7 virtues and vices, and you have to choose judiciously between them. Life is about balance, not about exclusion. And so you are supposed to partake of all the virtues. You're also supposed to partake of all the vices in moderation. This is a bit of an unbalance, right? If this is upright, this is you resisting the temptations, and that is leading to the harvest. But it's not. It's reversed. And as a reversal, this means that you are leaning a little bit towards some temptation. There is something earthly that is tempting. Now, this is in the future. There will be some temptation that you are inclined not to resist. Now, this can very well be do not resist the temptation, right? If it is upright, it is a resist the temptation. If it is in the reverse, it is a don't. Then the reversals are actions that can be taken or current situations in the negative, right? The positive is you doing things. The negative is things coming to you. And so this can be that you are being presented currently with a new emotional situation, and you are not supposed to resist the temptation of it. Now, that is never to tell you to cheat on your spouse. I want to make that 1000% clear. But if your situation is not correct, right, if there's abuse or neglect in your situation, it might be time to reconsider some things. Next up, we're going to move to the heart, and the heart is the area of manifestation. This is what you really want to create in your life, what will really make you happy. This is the area that deals with greed and charity. Greed, being tied to the mortal coil, is loving the things a little bit too much. Charity, being tied to the spiritual coil, is loving the people a little bit too much or not loving the things quite enough. You are meant to have things, not all of the things. You were supposed to give away things, but not all of the things. For an ISFJ, the heart is going to be governed by current explorations, right? Current things and explorations. Not necessarily the best things, right? You do that. That's way up at the top. It's not what you want to do. It's what you're already good at. You want to be able to see all of the options. Your SI is all the way at the top, so when you use that, it's at like 90% correct. The 10% that it is not correct is directly related to this slot. The SE With the heart, you're only getting about 40 to 50% of the reception of the positive energy. And so you're going to have a tendency to overlook options, right? Seeing all of the new things, you're not going to do that very well. You're going to be really good at knowing the best thing as long as you are given the right options. Now, today you have the Emperor. This is a very positive masculine energy card, right? You have the Empress right here in the soon-to-be. This is in your current situation. This is the next step past. This is a 4, and 4s are about understanding. 3s are learning. You have something to learn here in the base. You have something that you are currently understanding here in the heart. This is a very positive card. He is seated in his position of authority. He has his rod of authority, right? And this that's an ankh, so it's not necessarily a scepter, but it can be considered a wand. But he is seated on the throne of authority. Now, he has various animal heads attached to it, so there's a little bit of negativity there, but for the most part, this is a very positive card. And this is what you're wanting to manifest in your life, and that is seated in the divine masculine. Not necessarily the mastery of the divine masculine, that comes a lot later in the deck, but this is at least getting on the path towards that, right? This is, you've got the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy, and you're using them in balance, even if not to perfection quite yet. Clarifying with some actions that can be taken to bring about your manifestation, we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. Now, 9s are about choices. You have 8 presents the brand new path. 9 is the choosing of. Wands are about change, and so this is a choice about a change that you are not making. This is a higher choice, right? 1 through 7 is the first path, and 8 through 14 is the second path. This is choosing on the second path, the mastery path of change. But it is you not making an active choice, right? If it is upright, this is you make a choice. When it isn't like this, the choice is kind of being made for you. Together with this Emperor, this is a positive masculine manifestation, right? What you're trying to bring into your life. Maybe you shouldn't choose some change. Like you have the Knight of Wands right here, that you are not to rise to the challenge of the change. This may be related to that. These go together, right? There's various interactions between these cards, but this Knight of Wands can very well play directly into your heart. And this resistance to the change in the current situation and this not choosing in the near future, they're probably related. Next, we're going to move to the area of the throat. The throat is the area of communication, open and honest communication. This is pride and humility. So you may be taking a little bit too much credit for work being done. You may be giving away a little bit too much credit for work being done, but somebody needs the credit and it should be shared appropriately. For you in particular, as an ISFJ, the throat is going to be governed by the NE, which is future possibilities and foresight. What are all the possibilities that can come from this? And you're not really good at seeing those either, right? You're really good at narrowing down the best thing, and that's kind of your forte. You don't make decisions of the best thing because you don't have the information, and this is where you don't get the information or the best ideas. You don't really see all of the things, and you don't really see all of the ideas. You kind of just work off of your personal logic and what has already happened to you without really taking into consideration all of the possibilities. And then you're going to have a tendency here that when you do see the possibilities that you don't relay them well, right? You're like, well, these things can happen, but you don't explain it quite well. And this is the area of miscommunication quite often unless you are balanced. And what we have here is embracing the journey, right? This is the Fool, and the Fool is the key to the entire tarot. This ties into all of the various pathways, right? You got 1 through 7 as a pathway and all of the 4 suits and the major arcana. Then you have 8 through 14 as another pathway and the 4 suits and the major arcana. And then you get 15 through 21 is the third path of the major arcana. And the Fool is attached to all of those. He makes the 8 for all of the 7s. This is the guy that is on the path, and this is you currently, right? Now, some people look at this as a foolish person. I don't, but some people do. He is setting out on the journey and he is bringing provision. That's not foolish. He's bringing a companion. That's not foolish. He's not stepping off of the ledge. He's awfully close to it, but he's not stepping off of it, and that's not foolish either. This is embracing the journey. This is embracing the path. This is stepping out into your authority, stepping out into what you are called to do. He is called to a journey, and so are you. Now, this is a communication area. This is pride and humility. So this can be take a learner's outset, right? Don't be too prideful. Don't be too humble. Walk in humility. This is learning. This is a 0 card, so it's not attached to any of the other things. It is its own thing. Now, clarifying this with actions that can be taken, you have the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Pentacles, when it is standing tall, is an apprenticeship learning card. 3s are learning. We learned that with the Empress, right? This is about learning the path on the first part of the earthly journey. There is some communication that is probably related to this because it is in the throat. This, when it is standing upright, is cooperation. The 3s are either cooperation or not cooperating, right? And this is one of the cooperation cards. You are right here. This is you on this bench. You have done all of these carvings. These guys over here, one of them is paying you to do that. And the other one is the master who is instructing you in how to do that. This is a cooperation between all 3 of these in order to get exactly what is desired. But this is not this is not cooperation, right? If it is standing upright, this is cooperation about an earthly task. This is an apprenticeship and a willing and open partnership. When it is upside down, it is not as much. Maybe it is tied to the ending that we might be seeing over here. The right-hand path is linked. The left-hand path is linked. The central trunk is linked. The crosses are linked to the... there's a whole lot of interplay that happens here. And so this, in conjunction with embracing the path, is that maybe you are doing it by yourself, right? If this was upright and you were the fool embracing the path, then you're doing that with other people. This is you kind of isolating yourself, not quite as much as the hermit, right? But still, this is you taking authority instead of relying upon the cooperative spirit. It's not necessarily negative, although it can be. There can be a sense of betrayal, right? The 3 of Swords, for instance, is viewed as a betrayal, and when it is in the reverse, it is not betraying. This can be a betrayal, but it is probably not, judging by the rest of the energy. Next, we're going to be moving to the 3rd eye, and the 3rd eye is where you envision your future. You envision it, you manifest it, and you take positive steps towards it. This is the area that deals with sloth and diligence. So are you working towards your goal, or are you just expecting it to unfold with no input from you? That's not going to happen. For you, in the 3rd eye, it's going to be personal thoughts and logic, the TI. This is how do I process the logics in the situation, my yes-no checks, my personal thoughts, not what everybody else thinks. You don't really care. This is what you feel about the situation or how you think about the situation. And your current situation of what you want to manifest in your life, right? This is how you envision your future. Is a completion and some change. This is a 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands, when it is standing upright, is you in a defensive position. He has the high ground. He is holding off all of the defenders at his feet. He is going to be victorious. This is the Harvest card. But you are not quite there yet. This can indicate that there is still some change to occur. You're not quite at the harvest. And this can be that there is some spirit of not cooperation, right? You're not defending yourself. You're a little bit more aggressive in this spot. Not necessarily that you have to be aggressive, but this, but if it's standing tall, that is defensive. He is holding off the attackers. This is a little bit less of that energy, more engaged, right? Now, clarifying with some actions that can be taken, we've got the 9 of Swords. Now, swords are soul, air, thought, intellect, and communications. And so there can be some communication involved, some new idea. But this is the PTSD card. That's what I call it because this is the card of past regrets. He is on the path of the sword. That is the path of conquest, right? He has his sword underneath him, and he's got 8 swords of people that he has defeated in the past, and it's weighing on him. He is not meditating. He is in a regretful pose. And so there is something about this that is regretful about the past situation, tied to being more aggressive in the harvest here. And so this appears to be that the change is just about to occur, and you have some regrets to work through in order to bring about the manifestation, right? You have the Nine of Wands right here in the reverse, which is another one of the defensive positions. Did we even do the Nine of Wands? Did I skip right over the Nine of Wands? I did. I skipped right over the Nine of Wands. Huh. That almost never happens either. All right, so clarifying the Emperor right here. We had the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands, when it is standing upright, is about defense again, right? He is leaning upon his pole. He has already defeated these 8 people. He has a bandage. This was not an easy fight. Now, you have this in the reverse. When it is upright, the battle is over. You've already won. You're resting, right? This is a 9, so it is about a choice. There is some choice to be made in the situation. It's in the reverse, so this is a current battle, right? You are not done. This is not finished. This is a battle about some change, right? If it was upright, it would be you have completed the first change. You realize that there is a place to reinvest it, and now you are reinvesting. And then maybe you're thinking a little bit less about some combat. But this is more of an active energy, right? This is less defensive in the same way that the 7 is here. This is more of an aggressive energy. This is more of a still currently in the fight. And it's really interesting that I missed that 9 on the first round. I don't know what's up with that energy, but like this 9 is telling you that you have some past regrets to work through, and this 9 is telling you that there may be some more conflict to get into. And that is reinforced by the 7 here, right? This 7 of the conflict not quite being over. All right, next up we're going to move to the Crown, and the Crown is where you interpret what the Divine is telling you. You get a message from the Divine, it comes through your Crown, and it filters out to the rest of the slots. That's why you get so little reception at the bottom. This is the area that's going to deal with hope and despair, so if everything is going terrible and you are still making alchemical gold, this is what's going to be that spot. If you have everything in your life going wonderful and you are choosing to be depressed, this is the area that's going to be dealing with that. And for you in particular, this is going to be future feelings and ethics, right? How is this going to make me feel in the future, whatever the situation is? And what are the ethics of the situation? What has everybody decided is the correct steps, right? This is not about your personal judgment about right and wrong. This is what everybody else thinks is right and wrong. It doesn't matter if you think that this thing is bad. The society says that it is good, so it is good. That's how you look at it now. What we have is the Queen of Wands. This is another one of those really positive cards. This is the Divine Feminine for the suit of Wands. And Wands is about change. We talked about that. Spirit, fire, life, light, logos. All about the change. This is a divine message interpretation, and this is Divine Feminine, nurturing energy. Queens are about you have overcome the challenge. You're not quite to the harvest. It's nurturing. Let's just take a minute to rest. After the battle, before the completion, let's take a minute. We planted our crops. They're growing. We're not quite ready to harvest. We just have a few steps left to take. We need to water it again. We need to throw some fertilizer out. We need to weed the garden. There are active steps that can be taken, but they are nurturative steps. This is a very positive change card. And what you want in your life, your interpretation from the Divine, is that there needs to be some change. Rather immediately, right? You have several different change cards that are coming up in the immediacy. And so this is your current situation is changing. Then you need to embrace it, walk into the journey, own that as if it was yours, kind of by yourself, get over your regrets. Now, your Queen of Wands is saying that there is change currently happening and that you need to nurture it. And then clarifying from the Divine Masculine, you've got the 5 of Wands. Now, the 5 of Wands, when it is upright, is all about the challenge of the change. This is currently engaged in combat, right? You have not quite past the combat over here. You have not quite past the combat over here. This is an active engagement in the combat when it is upright, but it's not necessarily for you. You can see that these 5 people are engaged in mutual combat. It's not necessarily life-threatening, even though every martial activity is a life-threatening event. There's always the chance for an accident, and someone can die from any time there is physical combat. Even the most innocuous can lead to death. It is something that you should always bear in mind if you are engaged in physical combat. And so these 5 guys are all equally happy about being here. They're not mad. They're not doing things of that nature, but they are definitely fighting. Right now, you have this in the reverse, which can mean that the current situation, while challenging, is not requiring you to be actively engaged in it. Right? This is more of a passive engagement in the conflict still. So is this 9 over here. And so while you are being called to rise to the challenge here in this one particular area, you're not here in the wands, right? Your rise to the challenge of the wands in your current situation, you're being told not to rise to it, right? That's kind of a let it play out. It's going to be all right. Now, this is kind of the same thing, right? The Queen of Wands, she is sitting here on her throne. She has the wand of change in her hand. She's got the cat of good fortune at her feet, and she's got the sunflower of divine providence. This is all going to be okay. This is a good nurturing the energy for the change. And this is a don't quite rise to the challenge, right? The 5s and the knights, challenge cards. Both of your challenge in the change are telling you not to engage. Finally, we're going to come to our divine message. This is straight from the divine. It is not tied to the virtues and vices, but for the ISFJ, this area is going to be what has happened in the past and the organization of the best things. You're going to have a really good filing system. You're going to know exactly what tool to use for exactly the right situation. You're very good at organization. You know what has happened almost flawlessly every single time. What has happened in the past, you can remember 20 years ago as if it was yesterday. You know what color shoes they had on their feet when you had the conversation. That is the energy for the ISFJ. Now, for the divine feminine today, your current situation, the message for you is that the 4 of Cups. This is the divine manifestation card when it is upright. He has 3 empty cups in front of him. He's sitting underneath the tree of wisdom. He is in a meditative state, right? He is working towards his manifestation, and it happened. He took the ingredients from the 3 cups, and he invested them in manifestation into the divine providence, right? This is a manifestation card that you are not quite there yet. If this was happening, this is you manifesting emotional connections, right? It is about cups. Emotional connections and cups are intricately related. You have here in your solar plexus this brand new divine or this brand new emotional opportunity. Can be a soulmate, can be a spouse, can be a friend, can be a business partner. But then you have the don't resist the temptation, right? This is a manifestation of emotional security. This is understanding. 4s are about understanding. And so this is you not quite understanding the emotional maturity. What we have is that there is a new emotion that is going to be presented to you that you are not to resist the temptation of. And this is kind of a reiteration of that, right? If it is upright, then you are creating the emotional stability. You are understanding other people's point of view. This is a little bit less of that. Now, clarifying with actions that can be taken is the moon in reverse. This is a don't change, right? This is a change card. This is coming out of your comfort zone. Now, this is an 18, and an 18 is going to be understanding. What we have is the sun and the moon. An array of stars, but you've got the 2 towers here. One represents the light, one represents the dark. Boaz and Yakin. You're supposed to be in the middle. There's a path that runs directly down the middle. You have the wild dog, you have the domesticated dog, the inner nature of man, and the bestial nature of man. And then way down here at the bottom, you have this little guy. It's a crawfish. He is coming out of the water. He is leaving his comfort zone, walking the life of balance, embracing his future. He is fully armored. He's got his shell on. He is protected, but he is definitely coming out of his comfort zone. He is definitely not understanding the things. Now, you've got this in reverse. When this is upright, this is understanding. This is coming out of your change or walking into the change, embracing the change, kind of like the Fool here. But this current situation is that the change is happening. you are kind of prepared for it, but you're not in control of it. And you have these two cards together are telling us, in consideration with all the rest of the stuff, right? There's a new emotional situation that you're going to need some understanding that you do not currently have. And then you got some understanding about some change coming out of a comfort zone that you do not have. Right? That doesn't mean that you're not getting it. It means that it's not now. And this is an active one. So this is kind of telling you that this change is happening. You are not in charge of it. It's happening to you. Embrace it like the Fool. That's going to bring us to the end of the message, and hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow. Throw me a comment if you agree or disagree with anything that was stated. Put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book, where I teach you to do magic responsibly and MBTI the right way. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.